Hello and welcome to Live Coding with Gerph. We are today looking at the hopefully final bits of Wimp Templates. So the Window Manager templates were previously implemented in assembler inside the Window Manager, and I'm converting them into, well, not converting them, I'm re-implementing them in C. And so far we've got quite a bit of this done. We got started work last week on the what did I start on? Can't remember. Yeah. Fonts, that's right, yes, fonts. So we could see what was coming up. So I've just noticed there's actually now a live logo on the studio thing, so I can actually tell that I'm live, which is useful. Oh, having said that, has the image frozen? Oh dear, this is strange. No, it's just me that's frozen, I think. I think that's the problem. Let me just pull that camera, no, the other way. There we go. Oh, a bit more central now. A little bit more central. It's okay. Right, what was I trying to say? Yes, so I did the fonts, started adding in fonts, because previously we'd done most of the rest of it. So, as I've mentioned, we've got some source code. This is in a repository, Wimp Templates, in my Gerph repository on GitHub. And here is where we're up to. So this is what the plan for our Window Manager. So we're currently in phase 1, and I'm hoping to get as far as the internals working. We'll probably get as far as functional, to be perfectly honest. Although functional probably should mean working inside the Window Manager itself. But I'm going to be a little bit loose on that one because we just want it to work. Yeah, should probably be more specific about what we're trying to get out of it, I think. I'll try and do a bit more writing up on that at a later date. At the moment we can just get there, can't we? So as you can see, we've now got reasonably complete. We've got a lot of the functionality done and a lot of the SWI calls are implemented, and that's because we've got these dummy test versions of the SWIs, so we can't actually complete it until we've got the main ones working. Maybe that's something I can change my mind on. I'm gonna have to redo this. Thank you, Alan. I'm glad I am actually able to be heard. Alan says, you're live and we can hear you, which is a change from some of the presentations I've done in the past couple of weeks. So the bit we're up to at the moment is handling fonts. So let us go and have a look at that. So where were we up to? What were we doing? So let's make this window a little bit bigger if I can. Here we are, a little bit bigger. Right. So this is what function are we in? We're in templates open. So this is the opening handler. This is basically a constructor. Load the temp data. If there's no font data present, ignore it. Otherwise, font data has an invalid offset. Fail to read the font table. Okay. You know what I could really do with here? It would be a good test file. And I think last time I was having difficulty because I couldn't find the test file that was actually working. I'm going to scroll back here. Ah, there we go. We found one that's down to here is font in it. Fix icon font. There we go. All right. So we've only got 2 in there. It looks like 1 there. What was the other one? Sorry, did I just... No, there's only 1. Okay, anyway. Desktop. Okay, so that was the commands we did. Seems good. Let's just rerun that, shall we? Oh, I've got loads of things in my history. It's got Samu, semicolon. Yeah, that's better. Right, there we go. So let's see what we've actually got, shall we? So this is loading one of the fonts templates, which is the... I think it's the desktop modules template file. And we're going to see what that comes up with. We should see same as we had before. So there's riscos4 label there, and we've got an anti-alias, anti-alias, anti-alias. 3 text lines. This is cool. So I think this is from the very early versions of riscos4. This may have actually been pre-released, because I don't remember the riscos4 itself had a sprite on it. No, it mustn't have done. I think we only introduced that in Select. Yeah, I think we only introduced that in Select. Yeah, we got that. So now we need to know what the table contains. I've already forgotten what these have. So if we look here, we've got reading the templates, fail to read the template, font template, and then we're successful. So we read the entire table in. So let's have a quick look at what the table contains. If I go to this, that's not the right file. That's just the window manager. I don't think it documents the template file format. Open template. Yeah, it doesn't document it. I think I had a separate one. Was it this window? Yeah, this window. So this is font formats. I'll just dump that in there. You can see what it is. And here's the font data. And the important bit about this is that we've got font size there, and then we've got font name, which is control character terminated. The first font entry that is referred to by that's not a good sentence, is it? The first entry is referred to by internal handle 1. The second is internal handle 2. Right. Okay. So we're good with this. We don't know the number of fonts because it's just the rest of the file, which is a bit frustrating. Although, we can do something here, can't we? We can be a bit more clever. Font data has invalid file offset, so the font table size, this must be divisible by 48. So let's have a look here. So we can put in here n fonts equals, actually we can't know it there. N fonts, and n fonts is this value here. So we do n fonts equals that. Actually, I don't want n fonts. I want the modulo of that. I want it the other way around. Which, fortunately, if I put these two together, it's possible the compiler will spot it and go, yeah, I can use a div mod calculation there. Is not equal to 0. Font data has an invalid offset, an invalid length, I suppose. Not a multiple of 48. Okay. So we can quickly test that, because if it turns out that actually a lot of template files don't have a valid header on them, then we're going to have to rethink this. It does seem to have a valid header on it, so that's good. We did compile it. That's okay. So yeah, there we go. Right. So there's our font table. Do we free the font table at the end? Did I remember to do that? I did remember to put the font table freeing in. Good. So additionally, we'll do a templates open dump read font table. Oh, actually, I probably want, if I zero terminate these font names, that'll make them easier to handle for me. That would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Let's just do that, shall we? Int I. Zap had a really nice feature where you could say, when you got to the top of the window, always keep 2 lines or a number of lines visible. And I can't seem to find that option in Sublime Text. I mean, it might be there, but I can't seem to find it. Which is a bit frustrating because it could be quite nice. to do that. I would make my life easier because I could see what was coming. Is less than n fonts, I++. Oh, bother. All right. Let's do that after we've populated things, so we've actually got consistent data structure. Let's see what we're doing. Ensure all the font names are terminated for easier handling. Okay. Nose is all itchy. I've had a little bit of a sort of coldy type achiness recently, so it's just if I'm sneezing and coughing, I apologise. Right, so char font name equals OT to font OT to font data, no, font table. I don't actually know what the reference is called, because there'll be X size and Y size, obviously. Font data, X point size 16, X Y size font size, point size 16, and then font name. And I want to just terminate that. So let's do that. To, oh, I've already forgotten font name. Oh no, bracket index to dot, because they're in line. Font name is this. No. Equals a struct. No. What's my control string called? Is it CS? Or is it control? Control still then. Font name. If len is greater than 40. Actually, strictly it should be if it's greater than 39. I should probably use a calculation there, shouldn't I? Is greater than size of font name percent for index percent I is not valid. Too long. Percent I is I, isn't it? There we go. And also, if it's 0, because you can't have a 0 length font name. Oh, actually, that would be better, wouldn't it? We can actually print out the length. There we are. Right, okay. Boom, 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 and then what do I do? I was terminating it, wasn't I? So yeah, font name bracket len equals a 0 character. Okay. Now we'll read the font table for I equals 0. I is less than n fonts. Dprintf. That didn't work. I can't type. Useless today. %3i colon font %s. And the size, that's how do we print out the size, because it's in a 24.4 format. Actually, we potentially check the size is not stupid as well, because anything over a certain size is just going to be insane. In fact, anything over, like, I don't know, 256 points is probably not sensible for an icon. That would be pretty large. I'm not sure. For now, I'll just leave it as it is. Actually, I'll leave a note to say we could check. We could check that the length fonts. No, not the length of the font name. The size of the font wasn't too large. Right, there we go. That looks at least like we could do something with that in the future. But right now, let's just leave it. Yeah, so since I'm not going to do this as a, what's the easiest way to do this? Remind me what 1/16 is. Oh, Python 2.7. There we go. So if I do 1000 divided by 16, okay, 10,000 divided by 16, there we go. Okay, so we do that. Percent I. Right. So what we can do now is the font number, the font name, which would be easier if I was actually doing ot.font table I bracket. What was it called? Oh, not that file, sorry, this file here. Clicked on the wrong one again. A template font entry. FE, because I'm nice and lazy. FE to, should probably be an ampersand there, shouldn't it? FE to font name, FE to x point size 16 divided by 16. Oh, this is going to be fun. X point size divided by 16. FE to x point size 16 percent 16. 1000 times that. No, 1000 divided by that, sorry. And then we do the same thing, but for y. Oh, and I've just realised I've forgotten to actually put in the percent O4i. O4i. There we go. Looks about right. Probably do something reasonable. Let's have a go with it, shall we then? Oh, actually, we could build it. Use the built-in. Build in here, then we get our nice little. Oh, it just worked. Okay, fine. I was hoping we'd get some like errors out of it, and we could jump to them and things, but no errors. It's all good. So, what do we get out of it though? We get a crash. Yeah, that's a crash. Thank you for that. Oops. 06. I'm not sure what 06 is. Is that actually a crash? Must be. Debug trace block. Let's see if we do get a crash out of it or what. There we go. That's more like it. We've got some nice debugging. That's it's a bit bigger. Oh, can I make you a bit bigger, please? Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you like this? I mean, I think it's something to do with my big icon. I don't think it likes having it quite this big or something. But I'm not going to worry. Right, so we get Error about to be reported by the error handler. What is 06 then? It's not division by 0, is it? That would be interesting. I should really go and make sure those tokens are handled properly, but I'll do that another time. Let me go and have a look. So in projects, not that, row, ROM result, that's the one there, that's the file I want. It knows. 06 divided by 0. Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? So, since we're doing this, we can actually go and check this. Too large, I'd forgotten that too small is also a valid faulted case. So let's have a look at that. X point size 16 0. Actually did wrong blooming file again. Yeah, unsigned int. So it's an unsigned int there. So if it is 0 or that is 0, we can report that as well. Font size for index blah is not valid. %i by %i. We're not going to bother with the calculation I did down there because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered to do that all again. Y point size. In any case, this will only report when it gets a value of 0 anyway. So, okay, let's try that. Build it. So it should fail now, hopefully. No, we read font table. What? What's going on here? Read font table. Is that? I thought read font table was this bit here. Huh. Huh. What? I'm confused by this. Why is it? Because it should be reading the font table, font data offset here. It got that, but then it didn't print any more out. Let's actually print out that we're loading it. Loading font data from where's the offset? Oh yeah, %i of size %i %n I fonts. There we go, and that's going to be OT to font data offset, and size is font data size, and then the number of fonts is n fonts, which we've already calculated. So I'm going to put that before the seek. There we go. Let's build and run that. That long mismatches I. Okay. Offsize blah, 2 fonts. Looks okay. I mean, is 696 a sensible offset? Put it in hex. 696. Doesn't seem unreasonable for that size of font. And it knows it read it all. Font data is at exactly what it told it was going to be at. Okay, so let's have a look at that, shall we then? Oh, hang on. If that answer is 0, isn't that going to come out wrongly? Have I got the maths wrong on that? Am I just stupid? 1000 divided by 16 times. Divide times that divided by 16. Yeah, I'm good at maths. That's better. Right, so we've got Homerton medium at 36 by 36 and Homerton medium at 12 by 12. Cool. All right. That looks better to me. So, where's my fix up? Right, so that's where we've got the font being loaded. Right, icon data, fix up font, here we go. This is where we identify that it's anti-aliased. Do a font claim. So, what's the best way to do this? We know the font details, we know the font name, we just need to get the font. We need to fix up the icon flags so that they're, so the font index equals icon flags, oops, star icon flags. Come on, somewhere in our types we'll have a font handle mask and then shift. There we go. So ampersand that and then shifted right by shift. I think it's just shift on the end of it. Yeah. Is anti-aliased font index, isn't I? Okay, and we can just check that that's going to do the right thing here. Actually, we could also check that the size of the font table doesn't allow for more than 255 fonts. Font index 1, font index 2. Excellent. So, icon flags and equals icon flags and not this. So we, oh, just this bit, sorry. Clear off the mask, clear the font index mask, and in. Right, so how do we do? Oh, this is going to be painful, isn't it? Because we need to, what do we need to do? Let's work out what we need to do. So we need to claim a font. What happens if the font isn't found? Does the Wimp back out all of the claim? What to? Oh, except it will set them in the buffer, won't it? Claim a font, increment the counter in the font table, in the font usage table. Write the font handle into the buffer, into the icon flags. Okay. So in order to do this, we need to know the font usage table, and we need to know we need to have a routine to be able to claim a font. And that's pretty much all we need to do with this. And report errors if failed. Okay, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, sounds reasonable. So we need to have this font usage table. Do we have a font usage table? I don't believe we do. So hi Dave. All right, let's create the font usage table. Oh, we haven't used this enum only. Let's put that on there as well. That's a bool. I'm not sure what I'm writing here. This is really not doing very well. This good fingers and brain not working together here. Right. So enum only wants to be passed through, so we only fix up the fonts. We only do this if we're not enumerating. Which should actually be redundant because they should always have failed the buffer rights. But for safety, we're going to put this in as well. Okay. And then if we're enumerating, that's a non-window one. Yep, that looks okay. All right, so we also need to pass in then this font usage table. So let's put the font usage table here. It's to table of fonts used by this template. The template? This template. Dum dum dum. Which could be null. And if it is null, I assume we generate an error because there's no font usage table and we just want to report fonts aren't present. That's probably something we can do. So font usage table wants to go into our load template data. Load template data structure. Come on, where's that? Here it is. We want a font use. Ooh, that's not quite right. Bit far along. A font usage table as well. There. So those are the ones that were passed in. This is the one we've calculated. All right. So font usage is here, and then we need to populate that table. So here. d.font usage equals font usage. Right, so that means we can pass it through to the main call we're doing now. At the end here, we do want to call the fix-ups, and we've already passed through the font usage, but they can then return. Oh, we're not checking errors. No errors here. That's silly, isn't it? Let's go and do that then. So is it template error? Something like that? Yeah, something like that. Tier equals, actually tier is probably already set, isn't it? Oh, we don't actually have a template error in there. Interesting. If tier, what do we return? We just return it. And separate these. And then we do the same thing here, don't we? Tier equals this. print out a message. Yeah, probably print out a message to say that. Fix up of the font or the title. There we go. Right, so that looks like we're passing those through from here. We need to do it on the outside as well, so let's update the header. The header in here is read templates. There we go, read template. This hasn't been updated with the new enum only either. So need to do that. Enum only in there. Right, and then we need to define what a font usage table looks like. So, is the one already defined in here? I don't think we did. No, we don't got one there, so that's okay. Type def struct font usage table. Used. It's got to be 256. So this is one of the places where font manager handles are limited to be 256 entries. 255 because you can't use 0, I don't think. I think it's the only place that we actually have it in the font. Well, the font usage table and the reference in the color block in the icon flags. I think those are the only places that we actually have the font usage table being used, which is a bit poor, really. So leave E off there. Let's put another one in. Font missing. Exist. And font needed. They supplied a. They didn't font table, font usage table requires fonts. Okay, so we can now make those get returned as well. We probably need some errors to be defined for those, so let's do something for that. Here we go. I don't know what I'm going to call those, but in fact, although I don't know what to call them, we should have a standard definition, shouldn't we? New errors. Look for the Wimp messages and look for get rid of undef. Okay. So anything in here that looks like fonty? Bad configuration font? No. Template entry not found. Too many tasks. No template. That's the message for that. Unable to bind font handle. Bad fonts. Unable to bind font handle. What the heck does that mean? Does that mean that we got? Which one is that going to be for? It's not a very helpful message, is it? Somewhere in here I've got the Wimp source code. I mean, Wimp. Yeah, or did I have it on a separate window? Let's have a quick look. I have the source code lying around. So this is off screen. MISC modules. Okay, so Wimp. Oh, did I say it was 5? No, it's not 5. 6. 6. There we go. So find that. Okay, Wimp bad fonts. Let's look for that. Ah, here we go. So user font counts is 0. So that's the usage table being 0. That's when it returns that. Actually, strictly, it says here it's less than or equal. Whoops. Really, just do it like that. Should be like that. And then pull if vset what? Should be that. Surely. Not less than or equal. What? Oh, pull if vset. Yes, that does make sense actually, because that my X error does actually set the V flag. That's fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so that's slightly broken in my template manager. Probably fixed in the Riscos 5 one. Wimp, what was it? 06. 06. There we go. And we're looking at template icon. Template icon. Yeah, they actually only check for -1 when the original code was less than or equal, I think. Let me just check that was less than or equal. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? I mean, maybe it's already been converted in an earlier section of the code. It's entirely possible. I mean, that would make more sense all round, really. Yeah, I would probably do that. So, yeah, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I've lost a window. What's going on? I'm in the wrong place, that's why. Yeah, hopefully that was visible to you all. It flipped to the other display, that's why it went a bit funny, and I got confused because I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, so just give me a second. Nope, not sure. Yeah, it did show the right things. Sorry, I was trying to show the, yeah, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to show you this. Sorry, let me go and actually load it into here so we can actually see it. So this is the code where we're looking. Don't want bad fonts. I want the other one, which was in template icon. Oh, come on. I don't like Chrome. It doesn't work like I'm expecting. Yeah, so here in the window manager on Riscos 5, they only check for -1. It's possible that this has already been updated, so it only has the value -1. We could check that user font counts. Sorry, no, that go up. So that stores. No, they don't do that. They're saying it's only ever -1. That's interesting. So if we have a look at the specification, load template, yeah. Yeah, it does say -1 for no fonts, but it's always accepted 0 or -1, 0 or less than 0. So in the new version, it would actually allow you to pass in. So in Riscos 5, it would allow you to pass in a 0, where previously it wouldn't have done. And it would generate an error in the previous version when you did that and something went wrong. And then go and write to 0 page. And crash. I think it's better to report an error to say that you were doing it wrong rather than crashing. Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep it my way, and I'll change it to be 0 or -1, because less than, it would have previously allowed -2 as well, and obviously RISC-OS 5 doesn't do that, and RISC-OS 4 wouldn't do it either, which would mean that you'd be getting weird things. But nobody's going to specify -2, but they might specify 0. And in the earlier versions of the system, it would have been safe, and in the newer versions, it wouldn't. And strictly, you probably should look for less than 8,000 and say any of those as invalid. Right, anyway, I'm getting distracted, as if I already wasn't that distracted. So what I was looking for was this one, bad fonts, which is unable to bind font handle. Bad fonts. Requires fonts. Window definition uses fonts, but no font usage table supplied. Now that is a much more clear message, I feel. Them bad fonts. Says Spanners. And hi to Talia. Yes, so I want an extra error because I've got bad fonts, and I've also got an error that is fonts not found. Uses a font which was not found. So we could report an error there and say what the actual error message was back from Font Manager, but for now I'm just going to leave it as a standard value. And the reason I'm going to do that is because then we can have the code that loads the templates being agnostic to the rest of RISC-OS. Maybe that's not the right thing, but right now I'm happier with that. All of these things can be cleaned up when somebody tries to do the integration work, because it shouldn't be bad that we've got some slightly less clear messages, or they're not being passed through properly. It should still work. So that's font missing, and that's fonts needed. Cool. Actually, it's the other way around, but yeah. All right, so I've now got the font usage table defined. I can now go back into templates over here. And the font usage table, when we come to fix up the icons, here we go. If font, LTD to font usage table is null, return TE. Oh, I've already forgotten what it was. Fonts needed. Oops. They didn't supply a font usage table. I should probably, yeah, probably okay that, yeah. So now we want to claim the font. So we do font. I'm going to invent a function called font claim. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. LTD to font claim. Bracket. There's my font index. Oh, we can also say whether it's an invalid font, can't we? So font bad. Bad index. They use a font index which is not defined. So that should give us another error message. Oh, I've not given these names. Bad fonts, fonts not found, and font bad index, bad font index. I think you missed updating the error name in modhead. Yeah, thank you, Dave. I spotted it. I should keep paying attention to the chat. It's really frustrating. So YouTube have changed the way that they display things. So actually, I can't see the chat as easily now. It's really frustrating. They've made the view onto the stream much bigger. It's just one of those things. Oh, although I can do picture in picture. Oh, maybe that's the way to do it. Can I just... There, that's the way to do it. So I've got picture in picture there where I can have it at a smaller size, as a regular size. Or even resize it. Oh, look at that. Sorry, you can't see any of this, but... So this is what it looks like. I've got that, and then I've got this. So I've got the chat here, and I can see how many people are watching it and things like that. Which is kind of useful to me to sort of see, look, we've got a few viewers. Ooh. And I can see this picture in picture as well, which lets me see what's going on. So that's kind of fun. Oh, but now being picture in picture, I can actually move it anywhere. That's kind of fun. I mean, in a Inception sort of way there. Anyway. Where was I? An index which is not valid. There we go. So there we go. We've now got bad font index. Thank you. See, I should pay attention to that because it gives me more clues as to where I've gone wrong. I think I've also missed my commas. There we go, comma there. There we go. So Wimp bad font index is this one, and that's font bad index. And then in here, we need to check it. So if LTD to forgotten, my brain's gone. It's OT to N fonts, that's right, isn't it? N fonts. So if number of fonts present, what did it say? Sorry, I've already forgotten here. The first font entry is referred to by internal handle 1. So what about internal handle 0? Does internal handle 0 mean it's not actually anti-alias? Does that I don't know. If font index is 0, is that invalid? The PRM suggests, implies that this is not valid. In which case we'll return TE font bad index. There we go. Or should I return it down here? Should probably do them both together so that we get the same manipulation of the data and everything for the same error message. So font index 0 or font index is greater than LTD OT N fonts. Only 1 to N. Oh, the doorbell's gone. Give me a second. Hello again. Yes. I'm doing really badly here because I'm jumping around all over the place, not getting one small thing done and moving my way through it. It's, well, maybe not badly, but it's probably a little bit more confusing for people. Right, try and just be sane. So that's my error handling now. So we want to find the font name. So let's get a font name. So font name. And then we want an X size and X size 0.16. Actually, can we just get a pointer to the block? That would be easier. There's the font block, a template font entry. Here we go. So if we do that instead, TFE. We can do that here. TFE equals load template data to OT. To OT, yes. To font table bracket font index. There we go. And then we claim the font of TFE to font name and TFE to X point size 16, TFE to X point size 6, Y point size, sorry. What's the best way to do this? I don't want to do, we'll have it as a handle. So we'll have a handle from there, and we'll use -1. So put in font handle. Font handle equals that. If font handle is less than 0, then we can return what was the bad font one called? Font missing. There we go. Otherwise, the font handle can just be incremented in the array. So LTD right, let's change my instructions. 0. Validate parameters. There we go. So this is validation. Claim font. And then increment the counter. To font usage. To don't know what I called it. Used. Used is fine. Used font handle. Actually, or font handle, just in case we return anything stupid. Plus equals 1. And then finally we write it into the icon flags. Which is like this, in fact. Very similar to this, not quite the same. Or font handle, shifted left, handle shift. There we go. So here we can print out font gave send. All right, This function doesn't exist, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to return -1 there and just fake it for now. And then we'll come back to that. So let's build this and see how badly. Actually, let's build it in here, and then we can get the errors as we see them. Oh. I could probably fix that in my compiler, but I'm not exactly into trying to fix compiler problems. It's not my specialty. People who are better at that can handle the compiler side of things. Right, so we should get an error back now saying I couldn't load this template. Oh, maybe does Wimp Templates only get me the sizes? Is that all that Wimp Templates does? So that's my test program here, isn't it? In fact, I'm going to delete all the files because I have a feeling that actually this hasn't built properly. And because I changed the header, it hasn't updated things. There we go. Yeah, I was right. So let's have a look at read template, which is, hang on, here. Yeah, so that passes in null, and we want to actually so false. We're reading it properly. We're not enumerating. Better. Okay, so now we'll try this, and we should get an error. Fix up of the font for icon 2 failed. Error reading template. Error reading template number 0, error 4. Okay, that seems reasonable. Buffer state okay, indirect buffer state okay. So it knows that the buffers were handled properly, but it failed with the fix up, which is what I expected and hoped. So we now need to actually do this font claim operation. Yeah, font claim operation. What is error 4? Just check that we did actually get the right error back. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 fonts needed. They did not supply a font. That is exactly the right error message. Cool. I'm glad at that. But now I need to pass in the font claim routine. So we're going to have to pass it in here, aren't we? Let's go and define it as a function function type here. So this is, I can never remember how to do this. We return an int. It is a function. Is that how you specify it? I can never remember. Was it like this? I think that's right. I think that's right. Const char star name int x point size 16 y point size 16. Callback function to claim fonts. And this actually needs to go. It probably goes here, doesn't it? Because we can actually we just pass it through as the thing to read template. There we go. As font claim f font claim. Function which claims a font. Turns handle. Font claim. So this, yeah, needs to go into here now. This is why a lot of people don't bother doing headers, their declarations here in the header and in the main source code. You end up having to copy things backwards and forwards. I quite like doing it because it means that whilst I'm looking at the source, I don't have to toggle back to the header or vice versa. The header defines what the interface is and the source defines it as well. If they're inconsistent, then yeah, you've screwed up, but it's just me. Right, so I've got the font claim. So I now need to put that into here. ltd.fontClaim, font claim, and then we need to actually put it into the structure as well, which is somewhere up here. Go up a bit more, but a bit more up. There it is. So font claim underscore f. Oh, actually, it's not a point. It's just a. Yeah, it's not a pointer. It's not a pointer, is it? It's just a font claim F. I think that's... Come on, Dave, tell me that I've done it wrong. Oh, type is good because I've changed only one of them. I think this is right anyway. I think I take the star off there because it's just a function. It's no longer a pointer, it's just a function. It is a function pointer, but it's not. That's already defined in the type def. Yep. And then we go back to here, and then if we look for font claim, yeah, this can now be made to work. And then if we go back into main, we can supply a function for that. Fake font claim. Int fake font claim. Const just our font name. Int x point size 16, int y point size 16. Have you had a Dave says, have you had a fake font claim? Call now. Dave also says it's a bit fuzzy in C, the function pointer stuff. Well, thank gosh for that, because I am always confused by it. And I always think, yeah, I'm not a good C programmer because I can't actually remember how to do these things. And somebody that I respect says it's a bit fuzzy as well. So there we go. I'm sure Chris Basley would come along and go, oh, it's obvious, it's just this, because he is C God with these things. But for now, this is good. Right, or we'll also print it out. So printf font claim of %s at size %i by %i. Font name, thank you. X point size. There. Okay, so let's see if that works. I'm just going to fix that warning because it's irritating me. 203. Long mistouches type I think it's that one there. Li. Is that right? Better. Okay, so now let's try running this. Fix up a font for icon number 2 failed. Oh, because we never actually specified the usage table. This is the usage table failure. It would be nice if the error message reported something useful, wouldn't it? very quick code here. Let's pinch the list of them. Case, colon, F. Yeah, we'll do it that way. I could have made this a bit cleverer and all that, but there we go. I've missed my slash ends off, not slash ends, my breaks off the end of these, haven't I? So they're all going to fall through. Break. I don't like using multi-line most of the time, but for things like this, it kind of makes sense. Actually, we could be even more clever, couldn't we? I could line this up so it doesn't look as untidy. Oh no, that wasn't what I meant to do. That goes there, to there. There we are, all nicely lined up, and then repeat for default. There we go, nicely lined up. So now when we run this, lining everything up is 80% of my coding, says Dave. Fonts needed. Yay, we got a text message out. A bit more useful. Right, so we just need to actually pass in font usage here. Font usage 256. Memset font usage 0. Size of font usage. Build. Oh. Because this is not font usage, it's a font usage table T. Dot used. Legal left off friend. Oh, because it's not. Yeah, I don't want to. 256 copies of the table. Come on, what's wrong with that? Is that because I've not done ampersand on there? It is, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. Right, okay. Now, bum, bum, bum. So that's the callback saying we claim the font D. I don't think that's correct, and the size is somewhat garbage as well. Homerton Medium comes out. Is that? Oh, did I forget to do a -1 on this? I did, didn't I? Back in templates. Fonts usage. Go back. No, forwards. Font index -1. Okay. Font claim of Homerton Medium at size big numbers. That's because they're shifted left 4 times 16 values. Yeah, that looks fair, and they've all, each one's returned a handle of 1 because it will do in this test. That's all we've returned, so that's good. I'm happy with that. Test code is working. So I guess we need to actually implement it in the actual module. So viscous amu minus f make module. Just do that for now. Yep, and the module hasn't been updated with the new implementations of reading the template. So let's go back to that. That is in, let's press F4. No, not F4. Module, of course. If I read the error message, it'll help me. Right, look for, so let's go for line 228. Yeah, so this is font usage table, enum only, and then what's the next one? The next one was the font claim. There we go. So font usage is the font usage table, which is font ref, it calls it here. So we'll just change that to a font usage table T. Wonder how it will expand that. Foot. No, didn't like that. There we go, got that one. Sublime's completion isn't wonderful, but it's pretty good for these sorts of things. So we accept -1. There. And for window read size, enum only. Oops. Come on, only true. This is enum only as well. There we go. Right. Okay, so that'll give us those things. What we need now is the font claim. Oh, I also need to define this enum only. False. Starts out false, and we change it to be true if it's if we see it as being okay. There we go. So now probably need to turn TR into an error message as well, because it's not being converted properly. So we'll do that in a minute. We need the font claim routine. Let's create a small font claim callback. A window. Font name. The font size in 24.4 format, size 16, same thing. Returns -1 if fail, 0 if failed, no, -1 if failed, or handle from 1 to 255. Claim. I wonder sometimes whether I would get some benefit out of using AI completions and things. It does help me at work when I'm doing things for the sequel. And this is only plain C, so it's not like it would be particularly complicated for it. But I'm not really sure if it would do good or whether it would just make me feel lazy. Or be lazy for that matter. Being lazy would be worse than feeling lazy. Okay, so at this point we just want to... Dave finds it irritating. I think that's also a quite likely outcome for me as well. Font, find font. I don't actually know how find what font works. No. PRM as you are. That's a font. Let's use currents there. Yeah, that's all it needs. So it registers 1 through 5. Font name, X point size 16, Y point size 16, -1, -1. And then the output is in the font handle in R0. Or if return -1, if font handle less than 0 is less than 1, or font handle greater than 255, return -1. Otherwise, return 0. No, don't return 0, return the font handle. Duh, that's stupid. Right, so I get the font handle, and is that it? Enumeration. Maybe that's it. That's how it goes, shall we? Build it. Dave says it's probably like having me correcting stuff. No, you're far nicer at correcting me things. I forgot to include SWIs. And the font usage has been, that's probably just font ref that needs to be. So here, swis.h. That should be there like that. And what was it? Font usage. I think I just got the wrong name. It should have been font ref. Font_ref there. Okay. Build. That built. That was quite cute, wasn't it? Okay. I guess we need to test it now, don't we? How do we test it? Load template. What was my Wimp? Excuse me. Thank you. That wasn't what I wanted. I don't know what the command was I was using before. Test data templates font template. and the template we're looking for is called desktop. So file string equals that, oops, that, and template string equals desktop. Yeah, let's give it a whirl. Test load. Oh, come on, we got one of these in the history? No, we haven't. Oh, we haven't because I normally do it as a load module. Don't load module, and then do it in the command line. Just move this down a smidge. Oh, then I didn't use the version that had the windowing version in. Interesting. There we go. Ooh, apparently the video I'm getting back is 11 seconds behind. That doesn't look very good to me. Why is that not right? Oh, hang on, is that because we've got the wrong basic mode 28 old run. There we go, we've got Viscos 4 appearing and Copyright Viscos Limited 1999. But they're not using the right fonts, and that's because the window manager that we're using inside Viscos Paramaniac doesn't support them. So we're going to have to try this in WispPCMU, which may be a little bit funky because we may end up with some oddities here. Hopefully we'll be able to make something work. So where does this live? Is there a Wimp Templates? Here we go, Wimp Templates directory. Here we are. This is the directory we're working in. There's our load template program. What I want to do is get myself a task window. Task window, please. Now, oh, hang on. Oh, we've already got line editor loaded, haven't we? Yeah, line editor is loaded. That's good. So, Wimp Templates, and then we run the same command we did before, which is test load template. Oh, old crappy basic minus load. There we go. Run. Swine name not no. Ah, yes. I am load. im32.wimp. There we go. Huh. No fonts there. Why have we not got fonts? Oh. Fix up with the font for icon 2 failed. Error reading desktop template. Is anti-alias font index 1. Fix up for the icon. Well, that doesn't look very nice, does it? Let's just get rid of that. Okay. Alright, so that probably means that we missed something. Let's put that out to the side for a second. Oh, it did say it failed here actually as well. Oh, that's because of this. Font usage. We haven't got a font usage table. So it did fail before, but then tried to load it. Okay, let's... Font usage 256, and then we need to set all the values in that to be 0. 4 to 255. Font usage question mark I 0. Next All right. So let's try it on Pyro and see, because I should have really noticed that there was an error coming out there. That's pretty important. Basic 28 star load load. What's the blooming file called? I've forgotten already. Test load. There we go. That's not a lot different, although I seem to have lost the Riscos 4 one there. Not sure. But if we look down here, we see that we have got claimed. We got claim font 1, claim font 2. So yeah, it looks like it's doing the right thing, just the window manager's not doing it there. See, Dave spotted this. He spotted it errored, and I didn't pay attention to him. Is AI much better than that? Worse than that? No, but having somebody tell you you've done wrong is good. The fact that it's about 10 seconds behind is a bit frustrating. I've got this configured, so the stream is actually configured to be on ultra low latency. Maybe Dave is an AI, he suggests. Ultra low latency doesn't seem to be giving me that lower latency, or maybe it's the view that I'm getting back to myself is not in time. I don't know. Anyway, that was semi-working there. So if we now go and run the template program again, so it's just the template program that was wrong. So basic minus load test load template, and then run it. Those are still silly things there. What's gone on there? That's very odd, isn't it? Font cat. No, not font cat. Is it font list? Font list. 12 point. Okay, that is not very helpful. That is a very, very unhelpful size. Maybe we've got a bug in there. Your desktop font has gone walkabout. The system that boots doesn't have a desktop font configured. It just... Oh, it did too. Oh! I didn't think I did have it configured. I do have it configured. You're right. I should listen to you. Simple answer. Listen to Talia, listen to Dave. I think that's the two important things I'm learning here. I mean, I've already knew to listen to Talia. I'm not stupid. Let's not argue on that one. Okay, so presumably we broke things badly. Broken my font again? No, it's not broken my font. But that's not good. Okay, so we're passing in a garbage value there somehow. Do we actually get back anything here? Nothing useful. I didn't print anything out. uint max there. It does look like uint max a -1 equivalent, doesn't it? Tilde 429 496 7295. Number too big. -1. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's not going to let me print it out because Basic only does assign numbers. Right, move out of the way. Let's get back to source code because clearly I'm passing in something rubbish here. Where's my... No, wrong function. I want to be in module here. Actually, when I did it in the main code, I printed something out, didn't I? I went and made it print, yeah. Font claim of this at this. So let's do that. And then we can see whether it comes out differently. So rebuild that. Okay. And load. Ooh, we're kind of due for a break, aren't we? Yes, I do feel I'm due for a break, actually. Let's just try loading that and see what happens. And we may just take a break and have a see. Wimp Templates, dying and unloading, and then rerun our program. Yeah, it comes up with no fonts there, and we say, oh, hang on, what? Claim font gave 6. Claim font gave, where's my? Have I not got debug enabled? I've not got debug enabled. Rebuild. Load the module. Run the code. Home is medium at size 192 by 192. What? What is going on? Am I stupid? Am I stupid? I don't think I'm stupid. I don't remember being stupid. Font find font in registers 1 to 5, output registers 0. Font name, X font size, Y point size, -1, -1. And here in the documentation, point size, X resolution in dots per inch, use current is what I've given for -1. And if I do font list here, we get silly things. That's confusing. It's confusing me anyway. Wimp templates replaced with Wimp. So I'm not calling my function. I'm going to switch it back to calling the regular Wimp. So text load, test load template. There we go. Run. So standard window manager does it just fine. It's just my module that's doing it wrong. That font claim is not doing what it's expected to do. Point size times 16. Point size. Do I need to use default rather than current? Maybe. Let's switch it to default. This is where you think, oh, I know how these things work. I can do this stuff. And then you find that you've written garbage and it doesn't work. All right, okay. I mean, I think actually it doesn't matter for these ones because I think these values are recalculated for at the time of you using them. So I think if you don't get the right DPI, it'll go and regenerate the fonts. I think. So let's text load it again and then run. Nope, broken. Font list. Although we have got one coming out as 90 by 9. Oh, that's because of the one that we did through the regular window manager. This one's coming out as -1. 4 uses, 1K, silly size. Okay, gonna take a break. Gonna have a little think on this. What I'm gonna do. Although I have no pineapple juice left. Partial implementation of the font loading. The implementation works in the test templates program, but when loaded in the dummy mod, the fake module, the font point size comes out wrongly. This is confusing. Right, there we go. Pushed to master. So if anybody wants to have a look at it, probably shouldn't have pushed it to master, I should put it on branch. It's there. So yeah, we've got a little way on this. We're getting something done, but it's coming up with rubbish. So if anyone wants to have a look at the code on there and see what I've done wrong, please feel free to, because I don't know. And we'll have a see what's going on. I'm going to go and take a short break and see how I'm getting on with drink. Yes, I need drink. And we'll come back and have a look at this. Looks like we're not going to get to testing fully today, but at least we'll get the font handling working. All right, see you in a little bit. Hello again. Right, back. Dave has suggested it could have got itself into a bit of a tiz, and we may need to just restart RPCMU. So, exit RPCMU, complete restart of it, and then we'll start it again. Dum, dum, dum. Right, did I unmute myself? Yes, I did. Good. Otherwise, I'm talking to nobody. Let's try this again then, shall we? Wimp Templates. Yes, I go there, please. And I want Zap. I want to be able to run this in a task window. I mean, it's possible that the task window itself is the thing that's causing us to get a bit confused. It's less likely, but it's possible. Right, load the module. Yep, there we go. Set this as the work directory. Basic load, test load template. Run. Font list. Is that, did I change it back to be? We have a winner. Dave has suggested it was just the font manager getting itself into a mess, and well, I think that's right. It really does look like it just did the right thing. Let's just list the program, make sure this is actually the version that's using. Yep, this is using my module code. Yep, looks like it got itself into a bad state. Not sure how. Really not sure how. That's very odd. But it's working now. So, since it is working, woohoo, got fonts working. Oh dear. Oh. I'll clean my glasses and it can't tear me cleaners out properly. There we are. Right, so that's working. I could have been going for ages if I hadn't had that suggestion. That's pretty awesome, thank you. I'm wondering if maybe there's a match with -1 and so it just matches with anything and gets it wrong. But I didn't think I implemented it wrongly the first time. No matter, it's now working. So we've got load templates that are loading templates. So that is pretty good. And it does mean I can now just patch up the changes I made. So let's kill RPCMU because I don't need it right now. And we can go back and put this back to how it was. So we don't want to load the font ones there. We just want to load the regular ones. There we go. So it's back to how it was previously. Right. So now put this back to debug turned off. We need to do some error translation, don't we? So let's fix up the error message, the commit message we just put in. So, because it wasn't just a partial one. And when tested with the module on RPCMU, the fonts are loaded properly. Okay, you can now see that that's done. I'll just update that in GitHub. I have a feeling that also failed its tests as well. So we're just going to have a quick look at that. Yeah, it fails the tests. So let's have a see what's going wrong. Font data has invalid file offset. Okay. Okay, templates info, invalid file offset. Invalid file. If font data offset is greater than or equal to file size, no font data. If OT font equals file size, go to no font data. There we go, so that'll go and clean it all up, and it'll mean that if they specify something that has a bad offset, it'll clean up. Let's just check that. So pyro dev. So we want to load the, what's the command we use? Test data templates info. And we're trying to load the first template. That seems happier. So that's quite interesting, that. So the font data offset can be 0 or the length of the file, the end of the file, to display to cause it to not load. Interesting. Okay. Allow the font data offset to be file length. If font data offset is the offset of the end of the file, then means as valid, but having no fonts. There we go. And that should fix the tests, I think. See if we get them passing this time. Looks better. Lots of fonts. Oh, this is the one that's got the whatever it's called, many icons in it. Ooh, too big, cannot fit indirected icons into template buffer. That's interesting. Didn't that one work before? Chris Williams saying that he's got a little bit of jet lag from travelling, and so he's actually able to watch, which is nice. So, hi, Chris. Window definition cannot fit indirected icons into the template buffer. And this was loading templates palette. I thought we ran this and it worked okay. Hi, Chris. Load template. Templates palette. Size. Font usage 0. Window size. Indirection size. What indirection size is it needing? Oh, hang on. This might not mean what I think what it's saying it means, because, as I was saying, we don't have error handling. The only thing we return here is too big. We do also have this error reading template. No, too big. You know what would be easier? If we printed this message before we report it, we'd actually know whether it was coming out okay. Let's do that. And we want to run make the module and then run it with that, and we should see the same message come out. Paradev load module. Test load template. It's loading all the template files. And that worked. Did I do something different here? Test that we can enumerate templates with size. Is it the? Are we in the enumeration call? Is that what's going on? Test enum. If we're enumerating, we shouldn't ever get that error message, should we? And not enum only. I think that's working better. Yeah, that looks like it's doing the right thing. Cool. All right. So with that in mind, I should now be able to commit that as a fix. Fix for errors reported whilst enumerating. Spot There we go. And that should, I hope, fix the tests. Okay, it took 50 seconds to run last time, so we'll just see how this gets on. I mean, really, we don't need all of the debug turning on. We probably should turn it off, in fact. Wow, very exciting. I think this is the bit that was failing on before. Yep, that looks like it's doing the right thing, I think. So, yes, we now have icons being loaded. Come on. There we go. All successful. Green tick, thank you very much. So, doing good there. Now I just want to go and fix up these errors that we've got because we're not reporting the errors properly. So, best way to do this is to actually have a, yeah, we've got an error there. That's a good idea. So, error reading template. And the easiest thing I think we do, if we pinch this code from in here, we could make it set up values in different ways. So, oh, I forgot the switch part. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Fingers. Sit up, maybe my fingers will type properly. I actually don't know what the error messages are. It's template file truncated is EOF. There we go. Bad index here is bad font index. Oh, I forgot the equals. Equals. This is bad. Font missing means that we didn't find the font. Font not found. There we go. And then fonts needed is bad fonts. Okay. What should I do if we don't get anything right? I'm just going to return bad template, just because in that case, at least it will tell us that something's gone wrong. It shouldn't matter because we shouldn't get this one, but because we should have them all defined, obviously. Hello, Arctic. Hopefully that is all of the error cases, and then we fall through to the end and we return the error with all the templates updated. I think that's good. Template num +1. Do we do that if there's an error? Yeah, I think that's okay. Right. So, status. Right. I haven't actually built that, have I? Need to build it first. Make sure it still works. Yes. Test that it works. Let's try loading these templates. Let's change mode. Yes, I remember the VDU codes for changing modes. I'm sorry. I think I probably should turn that debug off, shouldn't I? Yeah, I probably should. There you go. It loaded. Okay, so that was really slow, and most of that was just printing the debug out. So let's turn the debug off, because it's looking good. I think we're at the point which I'm feeling pretty comfortable with it. So build that and move as a make file module, and then run the code. So build that. There we go. That was much faster, wasn't it? Just shows how much the debug is outputting, is processing. There we go. So we do it again. You can actually see them load. Hey! That's the black one. Yes, the black background. Yeah, that's right. Cool. So yes, working. Right, so we got that all committed. No, I didn't. What did I do differently? Oh, it's error handling, yes. Updated the error handling in the fake module. And we're done pretty much, I think. The errors should now be passed on to the module, to the caller, as Wimp errors, as OS errors, sorry. So I think we've now got the font handling there's a number of fix me's in here. So let's have a quick look. Should be allowed to be 12 characters unterminated. Okay. Should check the offset and length are in the file. That's probably not a bad idea. Should we check the template names aren't repeated? Not sure. What was the next fix me? Oop, there's one. Size of the font wasn't too large. Anything of 256 could be faulted. Well, we could do that. Find a better way of reporting errors. This is from the load template. Template open. Okay. What sort of errors do we have to file up? I don't think we actually have very much more from the standard version. So we return null there. Failed. All of these just go to failed. Do they actually report anything other than null? No. I guess there isn't much else you can say about that. It is just we've returned the failed open. Okay. I'm not feeling that any of these I'm jumping to go and fix right now. Font data will be fixed into. We have passed in the font data. That's all good. That's redundant. Should I be forcing the sprite area to the Wimp sprite pool? I'm going to leave that because I'm not sure about it. Oh, looks all right. Module. Fix me. Should we lose font if they've returned something out of spec? Not sure. All right. I don't see anything there that's scaring me. Maybe the 12 character thing could be a thing that I'll look at. Maybe. But other than that, I think we're looking good. So just a small change there, just to get rid of some comments. Vmanage Inc. Version number 0.02. Hang on. It's interesting this. So I've got a little pendant from Talia on hanging off my camera, and because it's hanging off the camera, I notice a lot more when I shake the desk and the camera wobbles. But when the camera wobbles, I don't actually notice the picture wobble at all. So either it's got a little bit of compensation in there, or it's just I'm not good enough with my eyes. Probably both. Possibly both. I don't know. It's a cheap camera, so I don't know. Anyway, sorry, getting randomly distracted. Increment version number to 0.02. This module being functional. A few things. A few things are going to be fixed up, and some more testing is probably necessary, but it is quite functional now. So if I'm going to put in testing, that's going to take a bit longer. Let's push that. Happy being the project lingo for ship it. Absolutely. And with that in mind, build the module. I keep saying, and with that in mind. It's just a bit naff, to be honest. I also say naff a lot as well, but yeah, that's life. I say that a lot as well. Maybe this is just my catchphrases. I should be like thinking on. Maybe I should have cleaned out all the directories first to make sure it built everything clean. That's fine. I've been so Chris says I've been told I start too many sentences now with the here's the thing. I find it really weird when you hear yourself saying these things and you're like, where did that come from? Oh, it came from my parents, or it came from such and such a friend, and it's just like, I know I pulled those in, but sometimes you don't even know where they came from. It's just you say things and it's like, oh yeah, that's now my words. Great. Built, move, rm. So all of these go into the status in repository. Here's the status repository. It's been updated with 2 modules. Now we need to go and fix up the what's this? What's this? There's changes in here. Oh, that's a different file. That's not the one we care about. I want to have a look at the status, so let's just do this. Hello. Right. Features. Wimp template. Oh, it's not Wimp template, it's window template. That is the one I want. Right. So, font handling, no longer in progress, completed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change this, the definition of this. I know you shouldn't change the definition of what you're aiming to do, but this is the first one of the real subcomponents that I'm doing, so it is learning how to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go of Wimp Open Template interface in fake module. So we're going to say that is what we're delivering for this, and that is what we have delivered. And the integration task can be to take those sections and to put them into a window manager itself and actually make it work with the correct interface. So we've now got all of this functionality completed, all of these swipes completed, which means that once I mark this, this will be done. We also want to go and mark it out in here. Oh, if I can find it. Come on, where's the Wimp Templates? Dave suggests listen up bucko is the phrase that he should be using. Functional and functional. Okay, so diff that. We're no longer a stub, we are now functional. We can now handle fonts. And we've redefined what's been done here. Well, the other bit I should do is actually describe that that's the thing. The expectation is that there will be both command line tool versions of the implementation that can be used for testing, and a freak module which implements the equivalent of the window manager SWI calls. This should mean that the subsequent integration to create the window manager itself just has to hook the defined SWIs into the existing module. There we go. And somebody could lift this code and jump it straight into a window manager and see that it works or not. And that means that we've now got a definition of what this actually is to do. And I should lift that and put it into the other subcomponents as well. Commit -a. So update the Wimp Templates module with a new with the font loading implementation. Functionally complete. Well enough that it can be used by people for testing if they want. Updated the status page and the feature document. Okay. Let's go. So push that. And if we have a look at here, so this is the status page for this. And if we're lucky, when I reload it, we should see it update. That didn't reload it. Let's reload it. There we go. Current status is functional. For phase 1, we expect it to be functional. It is now functional. Well, there we go. How's that for great? I declare that done, and I'm happy with it. If we look at phase 1, our chart now has Wimp Templates completed to there. So just got a few more to do. Oh, a few more. I did have a thing that would go and tell me that what percentage we were actually complete on the phase, but I can't remember what I've done with it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I just hadn't spotted it. It's all right. Yes, that takes me to this page. Yeah, that's right. Cool. So we are getting somewhere with that. I think I'm going to declare that I'm happy with it, and say that Wimp Templates is now done, at least well enough for me to move on to something else. At the moment, we've not got a lot of things left to do. CLI vector is going to be a bit of a pain. Evaluate expression, I'm not looking forward to that, but I only want to get it to a stub level, so that's not too terrible. FS commands is probably a good one to do because it's mostly just the commands being interpreted and then passed on to OSFS control, and that's all it does. So that's quite nice. Hourglass means updating my existing Hourglass module to have ARC64 assembler in it, or just be in C entirely. That's also quite possible. I2C being a stub, that probably isn't too hard either. NVRAM hardware, that's probably quite easy, although I don't yet have the vector claiming, so maybe that's a little bit of a thing we could do. OS commands, I think I'm missing like 3 or 4 of them, and I'm not sure why. I'd need to come back and have a look at that. OS pointer again being a stub probably isn't too hard. Screen blank, oh hang on, there's one here. Read line. Read line I've got so far, but I can't complete it because I still haven't decided on how you claim vectors on 64-bit. Sorry, I've decided on that in my head. I just haven't implemented it to prove that it will work. I could probably try and get that working. It needs some time. It needs probably about 3 or 4 days worth of thinking and working at it solidly, and I haven't had that time. Screen blanker I started implementing, but basically as a stub, but it's mostly at a stub point. It's nearly got to prototype, so I might just come back to that one. Timer manager, yeah, that's not too hard. I just need to review the spec for it and see what it needs to do. Utility module is essentially just star-gos. And it's not hard, but it does have a number of environment things in it that need a bit of thought. Video software probably has quite a bit to do in it to make it a stub, because it's got vector handling and stuff. And then video teletext, I think I tested that and I felt it was functional, so actually I might bump it up to there because it's now... Oh, I didn't get to test it on 64-bit, that's why. Yeah, I didn't do the 64-bit testing, so I need to do that. So I think probably FS commands is a good one to start on to get to the point at which it's actually I'm happy with it for this. Could do evaluate expression. OS pointer is also not too bad. Yeah, anyway, if anybody has any particular ideas of things they would like to see out of these, or thoughts on which of these you'd like to see, drop me a line. There's always the phase 2 work, which is obviously also progressing. Some of these have been completed even though they're not necessary just yet. For example, I've started on kernel modules independently, which is coming along okay. Modules is quite a big chunk of work, so I've not yet got there with it, but I'm getting through that one. Yeah, and some of the other bits, probably not too hard. Things like ROM fonts, that's literally just a call to resgen, I think. I think it's just a call to resgen, and then we're done. Maybe I should do that and just say, yeah, I've done it. Yeah. So yes, that's what I think I'm going to have a look at next. So, kernel introspection. Kernel introspection. Where's that? I think I might have actually put some spec down for it. Is it in here? Kernel, not this one. Where's Wimp introspection? Where was it? Was it on kernel introspection there? Did I just miss it as I was looking down this? Mode. Introspection, right at the very top. That's why I didn't see it. So yeah, introspection is, yeah, it's not a bad one. So this is basically implementations of some OSBite calls, and then some of the read information about the system, memory for, and then platform features. So those are the sorts of implementations on that. I think actually getting that to the point where it's stubbed probably isn't too bad. I could probably stub that one relatively easily, I think. Yeah, maybe we'll have a look at that one. Right, okay. So this is a phase 2 thing, but we're going to have a look at that since that's what I've had a suggestion of. You've got to take people's suggestions when you ask them for it, or at least consider it. So yeah, we'll have a go at that and have a see what we can do with it. Maybe we'll get somewhere, maybe we won't, but yeah, I think that's the next one. You can run those PD utilities that we talked about, system info, and see it on Pyro. Yes, that probably would work. It's actually really strange seeing some of those because they don't really give you a lot of information that is relevant to an emulated system, because a lot of them haven't actually been updated. Things like ARM-SI hasn't been updated, although I think there are more modern ones. Maybe I should go and pester people on RISC-OS open forums and just sort of say, what is the right thing to use for this nowadays? Because I don't actually know what modern people use on modern systems, not rather than modern people. Yeah, so I think that's not too bad. There might well be some other introspection calls that we need to get information on. Yeah, I think I'll put a note out on the 64-bit channel forum just to say, this is what I'm planning to do. Are there any other introspection calls that are relevant to systems? Just because, I mean, we can start putting bits of implementation in place. It doesn't need to do very much. I mean, where are we? If I have a look at, because I've got a few minutes before I meant to finish. Projects, RISC-OS, Pyromaniac, not the Wimp, please. Intro, no. Okay, so there's definitely some introspection things in here. What do we? Read sysinfo maybe? Where's read sysinfo? I can't find it. Am I blind? Core. It should be core. I'm going to go and just load the lot actually. Projects, RO, Pyro. Clearly I don't even know how Pyro is structured. Intro. I've got an F in there, that's no good. Inspection. Yeah, I've got tests for that. But that's it. Okay, so in which case then os read sys info pi constants. There's the implementation. So if we have a look in the implementation of os read sys info here, I've got some configuration, values that we can return and stuff. But down here, this is all the magic for making things configurable. We've got a different function for each of the calls, and some of them are just like, yeah, none, none, none. Just return them explicitly. Just to say, yeah, we haven't got any. Some of the time this is useful, sometimes it isn't. So here we go. This is the configuration we return for I/O features. Some bits that we've generated that are absent for everything, and then zeros, and so on. Some of it is also completely rubbish. So these kernel values come from elsewhere, and they've got nothing in them. That's actually working. Platform class is kind of working, and you can configure bits of it. ROM information, yeah, you can do that. OS version doesn't really return the right things there. And then read debug info is that, and all the others just return invalid. Nothing in there. So some of these calls are pretty dumb. So for example, validate key handler, number 13 here. We don't have a handler for 13. We don't have a handler for IIC because it doesn't belong in the kernel. It's a hardware driver. Design decisions for RISC-OS 5 are bad in some cases. pyrodev list handlers for OS read sysinfo. So you can see what we've actually got in Pyromaniac here. Oh, come on. Oh, you're being very slow. Surprising. Oh, that's not how you do it. It's read handler. Sorry. Because handlers list all of them. There you go. So we don't have a handling. If it's got plus in there, then it's handled. If it's not, then we don't have it. So we don't have any of these later ones. And systems should just work. So those utilities should do the right thing, but they may not. Anyway, we'll have may have a go with that shortly. Let's wrap up. So today we've finished the font handling. We've finished the font handling, and we can now load them. And we've proved that we can load them by doing so inside RPCMU. We've seen that they come out correctly inside Pyro as well. And we've seen that fonts load. We saw yet last time that we could load regular templates. And this time we've also demonstrated that the, what they call the palette template still loaded. So that's working okay as well. We saw some bugs with the test code, and so the test code has been fixed as well. So we now have test code that's doing the right thing, seems to be working, and we're quite happy with that. And we've now marked all of the features as being complete. The remaining things to do on this are basically just tidying it up and putting some additional testing behind it, which we can do at a later date. I'm not too worried about that. We're only meant to be getting internals completed for this particular phase, so we've done a lot more than we intended. So, as suggested by Chris, we are going to have a look at kernel introspection next time. I'm hoping this. So we only need to get this. We only need to get this to the point where it's stubbed, according to the second phase plan. So what I'm planning to do is basically try and get a stub version that will go and handle the different calls, and then just fill in a few of them with handlers, just so we've got something in there. Whether that will be completed, I don't know, but we'll get somewhere with it. So that's probably going to be about, I suspect that'll be like 3 weeks on that. Might be less. We might not do a lot of testing on it. It might just be a reasonably, like, it kind of works. You could plug it into the rest of the system later. So that's where we are. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if there's any comments and questions, please post them on the RISC-OS Open forum. You'll find that I watch most of the no, that's not what I want. That's it, forums there. I watch most of the what are they called? Channels, topics. I think they are. Oh, is topics the I don't know. I look at the different forums. 64-bit, however, is the main one to post in. If you're seeing, have got any comments? Dave suggested the word cesspits for them. That may not be entirely unreasonable, but it is the main place that try to communicate. If you've got any ideas for things, please drop me a line. You can always email me at gerph@gerph.org. Just paste the actual link there. There you go. Yeah, and if you want to have a look, I mean, I'm assuming that link came out okay. I am assuming that links I post come out for other people, because there was comments that that things weren't previously. Yeah. And obviously, if anybody wants to help or move in to try and do some other parts of it, please feel free to just either start on it or drop me a line or something along those lines. You can always raise issues or put things on the chat. I think we've got a chat on here. Discussions. See, you have discussions on here. So people can post on here and talk about the 64-bit status. There is the ability to do that. So there you go. Cool. Dave says he can see the links as well, which is good. Right, with that, I'm going to call it a day. I realise I've been a little bit light on content this time because it took a little bit longer to working out what was going wrong with the font handling, but I think we're good. So see you all next week, hopefully for kernel inspection, and we will see what excitement we can do there. See you later. Bye.